We're here today for a status conference on both cases, and the defendant's presence is waived. Is that correct, Ms. McNeil?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we were able to put it on the Zoom out of custody docket for today. And going forward, I'm going to try to set this case on its own day so that we don't have folks waiting or you all waiting while I do the rest of the docket. And again, if you could, as soon as you know, let us know if you're going to be waiving his presence. That helps because then we know which Zoom docket to put it on. Okay?
No problem.
All right. As far as I know, there are no new pleadings that have been filed since the last hearing, and you all resolved by agreement of the parties, the motion to record the video Zoom deposition of Joseph Lafaredo.
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I wanted to let you all know that I spoke with the chief judge a few weeks ago, and he anticipates that this case will be ready. He anticipates that the courthouse will be ready for this case to be tried in September. So I'm going to enter an order in the next week or so, setting out some tentative dates as far as for motions and for jury selection. But they're going to make every accommodation to us, even if it means selecting the jury in the jury room so that we have more room. So we're not confined just to, I'm sorry? I thought I heard somebody. They're going to allow us to use the jury room, the big jury room where they all congregate in the mornings if necessary, so that we're not limited to separating people and keeping them in my courtroom or in Judge Williams' courtroom that is a bit bigger that we might be using. So is there anything that I need to be brought up to speed or made aware of at this point? I'll start with Ms. McNeil, only because I'm looking right at you, at least on my Zoom.
Okay, good afternoon, Judge. As you know, for the last year, we have not been able to have any confidential, meaningful attorney-client communications with Mr. Cruz. So we have not been able to do that, and we still don't have a date that we will be able to do that. We have not been able to get, up until recently, our experts in to evaluate Mr. Cruz. The Broward Sheriff's Office has been very accommodating, and the ball is rolling on that. And because some of the COVID restrictions have been lifted, we're now able to start doing some traveling to interview out-of-state mitigation witnesses and start preparing the mitigation phase, which has clearly been affected by COVID. And based on the ABA standards, the contact we're supposed to have with those witnesses should be in person. So we're facilitating all of that and moving forward in depositions.
Great. Well, even with the status of the trial starting in September, we have 5 months. So at the pace that you all are working, I know you're all working very hard. That it gives plenty of time to accomplish everything we need. And if it doesn't, we'll address it at that time. But I want you all to look towards September as our goal as far as starting jury selection and pretrial motions. Mr. Satz, you're here for the state. Do you have anything to update the court on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. We've been waiting for the defense to have their experts evaluate the defendant, and we understand the concerns they've been having. But to speed things on, we would like to have reports, notes, raw material of any tests and the test results as soon as possible, so we can take their depositions as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Ms. McNeil, if you would please, as soon as that information is ready, I know you will do this anyway, but I'm going to ask you just to please turn it over to the state as soon as it becomes available so that we can expedite this matter. I don't know if expedite is the word. If we can.
Yeah, I would think it wouldn't be, Judge.
Not expedite, but get it back on track as far as not being on Zoom, not Zoom, but COVID restrictions, as we are getting closer to a regular living society, which is exciting for other reasons other than the trial. Ms. Basham, good morning, good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm well.
Your little squares are in the same placement as mine, but I see Ms. Basham and Ms. McNeil right in front of me. Ms. Schneider, do you have anything to report on the battery Leo case?
Your Honor, nothing other than we're ready for trial. I believe the defense is ready as well. And we would like to be able to schedule that prior to the beginning of the homicide. So whatever your pleasure is with that.
Well, because that case, I don't anticipate being as long or as difficult to select a jury. You tell me when you want to do it. And I'm thinking because we're accommodating, we're phasing in, some of the judges are doing final VOPs with, evidentiary hearings with live in-person testimony. I think that we could accommodate you very soon. So
Okay.
you and is it still Mr. Burke that's going to be the point man on the battery case?
That's correct, Judge.
Then?
I'm sorry, Joseph Burke on behalf of Mr. Cruz in the battery case. The defense is not ready for trial. Unfortunately, we have been requesting these documents related to Sergeant Beltran, the alleged victim in the battery case, and we've been anxiously awaiting for these documents. And I think we've requested them maybe a year ago, and we've been sending requests for updates on getting these documents, and we just haven't received them yet. And the response that we've received from the Broward Sheriff's Office is that, well, the documents pertain to the alleged victim, Sergeant Beltran's internal affairs investigation. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing state of emergency, that the investigation is on hold, and that therefore we don't have to give them to you. And so that has been their position. In other words, the state is withholding these documents from us. And we believe that they're necessary for us to effectively cross-examine Sergeant Beltran. And some of the documents that we're requesting actually have nothing to do with his internal affairs investigation. For example, we've requested emails that he has sent and received, which reference Nikolas Cruz. We've requested documents related to his schedule that we have not received. And we get the same response. So we really need those documents in order to be ready for trial. In addition, there is outstanding, the state filed the notice of intent to issue a subpoena ducis tecum. I filed a couple of written objections to that. So I just want to make sure that is either addressed or abandoned at this point. I know in my last written objection, I alleged that, the state has, it seemed that they had abandoned this request because no hearing has been set on the matter. I just want to clarify that as well, Judge.
As would I. And please, on both cases, if for some reason there is a motion that's sitting, that's waiting to be heard, and I have not said it, that's probably because there's a voluminous amount of motions on both cases, and maybe they got put in the wrong pile or something, but we try to address everything as soon as we get it. So if that needs to be heard or ruled upon by me, please let me know. I'm happy to get right on that. Ms. Schneider?
Yes, it does, Your Honor. I will get that set as soon as possible. I'll call your JA.
Okay, great. So we can do that at your convenience as soon as possible. Obviously, the sooner the better. Now, as far as the documents, I do know that the law prohibits the investigating agency from turning over certain documents when there's an open internal affairs investigation. However, perhaps the sheriff's office, let me have the sheriff's office speak to that matter.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christian Sabanos on behalf of the Sheriff's Office.
How are you, Mr. Stevens?
I'm not sure specifically besides what Mr. Burke referenced is what they're looking for. So if he would just email me a list of what he needs, I can go line by line and see what we can do about getting those.
Okay, thank you for your help. Mr. Burke, how does that sound?
I will email him with the reference numbers for the requests, the numbers that are assigned by BSO for the public record requests.
Okay, fantastic. And then if there's something that can't be turned over that you need, if you would please set a hearing so that I can get involved, so that I can move everything along. Again, if there are any issues that need the court's attention, I am here for you. I'm ready to consider whatever needs to be considered. Please, you all need to let me know, because there's a lot of motions that are filed that are either agreed upon or can't be heard until the time of trial. So I'm relying on you all to let me know which ones you need heard and when you need them heard. Okay. All right. Other than that, sounds like we're moving along. So I'm going to set this for a status conference in 30 days. Do you all have a preference as to what day of the week it's set? I can do it any day, morning or afternoon. I know you all, I don't know if you have a specific deposition schedule or something to that effect. Just let me know what.
Why don't you throw out a couple days, Judge? I have my calendar up so I can look and see if we have depots scheduled.
Sure, I can do it the 25th, 26th, 27th, 24th.
The 25th, there are no depositions scheduled that day.
Okay, that's a Tuesday. Does that work for everyone?
That works for us, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is set Mr. Cruz. Would you all prefer the morning? I'm thinking maybe that would be more convenient so you can get on about your day when we finish.
Your Honor, this
Doesn't
seems
matter.
better in the afternoon. We don't have to wait. You can get right to it.
Okay, well, I am gonna set it on a day when, as long as I can do it with the parameters of Zoom, I'm gonna set you all on your own day so we can get right to it. But if the afternoon is better, that's fine with me. I'll put it on at 1:30 on May 25th for a status conference on both cases. I am going to anticipate you all contacting my office on the 18-14129 case to set a hearing on the state's notice of intent to issue a subpoena ducis tecum. Prior to that status, I'm also going to anticipate, if the sheriff's office is unable, Mr. Burke, to give you any of the documents that you're looking for, that you set that for a hearing as well prior to the May 25th date. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Did I forget anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, anything else from any of the folks that are present or perhaps haven't spoken?
I have one other matter, Judge. I just want to pull up the motion number so the
Okay.
record is clear. Just give me one moment, please. I'm sorry I didn't have it.
No problem.
Judges, the court may recall the state had filed a motion to allow the jury to go to the crime scene. I can't remember the number of that motion.
Okay,
The defense had filed a response. The court had ruled on the motion, and then the defense filed D-141, which was a request for an evidentiary proffer and an extension of time. And the court, we haven't heard back from the court on that issue.
okay,
So if you'd be so kind as,
absolutely.
it's D-141.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's the type of thing that could have just gotten,
Understood. That's why I brought it to your attention.
and I appreciate you doing that very much so, and knowing the number makes it even easier. So I'm familiar with the issue. I will address that either this week or the beginning of next week. Okay, anything else?
Nothing from the defense.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Great. It's very nice to see everyone, and I'm glad everyone is doing well or appears to be doing well. And I will see you again on May 25th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are in recess.